Hey, fourth grade scientists, Mrs. Drum here. Today we are going to talk about Earth's resources, and we're also going to talk about the water cycle. Be sure to open up your notes packet to page 33. The words that you will need to write down in your notes are going to be underlined. Remember, you can pause the video at any time to write down in your notes. Let's get started. Natural resources. Each time you turn on a light switch, you're using a natural resource. Each time you read a book, you're using a natural resource. Even the cars and the buses that you ride in run on natural resources. So what are natural resources? Well, they are useful things the earth produces on its own. Some examples are air, water, soil, and lumber, which is wood from trees. Some natural resources can be renewed, but others cannot. So I think of renewing a library book. You're allowed to take that library book out again. Natural resources, when we say that they are renewed, can be used again or they grow again. Let's talk about natural gas. Natural gas is formed when tiny dead organisms are buried in layers of sediment. Over many years, the pressure forms a gas. Natural gas is used for fuel, for cooking, and for heating homes. Your home may use natural gas. It is renewable, but it takes millions of years to form. Trees are another natural resource. Lumber from trees is used to make wood products like houses. Trees also give off oxygen and provide food and habitats for animals. Trees are renewable, but they take many years to reach a large size, which is what we need in order to use them for lumber for our houses. Petroleum is a natural resource used for gasoline, plastics, and toys. It is formed in oceans. The remains of tiny dead organisms are covered with layers of sediment. It forms after millions of years of heat and pressure. Petroleum is another renewable resource, but it is being used up faster than it can form. So there are actually some ways that we conserve natural resources, and conserve means to save. Some ways that we can conserve or save natural resources are turning off lights when we're not in the room, turning down the heat, recycling, riding our bikes, or even walking to school instead of taking a bus or car. Now we are going to discuss the water cycle. You will need to turn to page 35 in your notes packet. Again, the words that you will need to write down are going to be underlined. You can pause the video at any time. Let's go. So you are thirsty. You pour yourself a tall, cold glass of water. Have you ever wondered how old that water is? The water in your glass may have fallen from the sky as rain just last week, but the water itself has been around pretty much as long as the earth has. When the first creature crawled out of the ocean onto the land, your glass of water was part of that ocean. When the brontosaurus walked through lakes feeding on plants, your glass of water was part of those lakes. When kings and princesses, knights and squires took a drink from their wells, your glass of water was part of those wells. So bottom line is, water is old. What is the water cycle? The earth has a limited amount of water. That water keeps going around and around and around and around and around. Well, you get the idea. And what we call the water cycle. This cycle is made up of a few main parts: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, and collection. The first step is evaporation. On a warm, sunny day, water in a puddle slowly seems to disappear. This is because the energy from the sun is heating the water up and turning the liquid water into water vapor. This process is called evaporation. When the water evaporates, it becomes an invisible gas that is stored in the atmosphere. Evaporation takes place wherever there is lots of water, such as in oceans and lakes. Here is a colorful diagram of evaporation happening. Step 2 is condensation. As the water vapor rises, it cools off and condenses into water droplets. If the water vapor becomes extremely cold, it will form ice crystals instead of water droplets. As the water droplets or ice crystals grow bigger and more numerous, they form clouds. Here is a colorful diagram of condensation. Step 3 is precipitation. If water droplets or ice crystals become too heavy, they can't stay in the air. They precipitate. Water droplets precipitate as rain and ice crystals precipitate as snow. Sometimes the rain freezes before it hits the earth and precipitates as hail. Here is a colorful diagram of precipitation. Step 4, runoff and collection. The precipitation gathers into rivers and streams that flow downward until it collects or gathers into lakes and oceans. This is called runoff. Not all of the water makes it back to the oceans and lakes right away. Some of it is used by animals and plants. Some of it is also frozen into glaciers. Eventually, the animals and plants breathe the water out and the glaciers melt, releasing the water back into the water cycle where it starts all over again. Here is a colorful diagram of runoff and then collection. Here is a diagram of all the steps in the water cycle working together. Your assignment is to complete the Natural Resources and Water Cycle exit ticket. Make sure your name is on it and turn it into the turn-in tray when you're done. Of course, you can re-watch the video again if you need to, or you can look back in your notes. Great job today. I'll see you again next time.